Boarding for a scenic trip around the Magic Kingdom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am yours truly, the Disney Diva, and I'm so glad to have you guys for part 3 of Disney Breakdown. This is the last part of Disney Breakdown, and today we are talking about transportation, hotels, and tips and tricks I like to use to save money on a Walt Disney World vacation. Let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about today is transportation. Now that you guys know the parks, you know a little bit about Disney World, how the heck are you getting around once you are in Disney World? So the first transportation that I want to talk about is the Magical Express. So the Magical Express is a busing system that Disney offers its guests who stay on Disney World property. It is a busing system that allows guests to go to and from the airport to their Walt Disney World hotels. Now, the reason I want to talk about Magical Express is because unlike other Disney transportations, there are a few things that you have to know about Magical Express. So the first thing you're going to have to know is you need a reservation in order to take Magical Express. You cannot just get off the airplane in Orlando Airport and hop right on a Magical Express bus and think that you're gonna head right onto your Disney World resort. That's not how it happens. You have to make a reservation. It's very easy to make a reservation. You can go right on Disney World's website and they have a step-by-step guide and a lot of information on how to make a reservation. But you have to make a reservation. I just want to make that clear. The next tip that you have to understand, when you're making your reservation, you're going to have to provide your flight information. Now, if you are using the Magical Express to the Walt Disney World resorts and from the Walt Disney World resorts, you're going to have to give your arrival flight information and your departing flight information. So make sure you have all of your flight information to and from Orlando in order to make that reservation for Magical Express. Now, with that said, if you are taking the Magical Express from your Walt Disney World resort, the Magical Express will be picking you up 3 hours prior to your flight. So Disney gives you plenty of time for traffic or for long security lines at the airport. Disney is very good at getting you to the airport at the time that you need to be. So the Magical Express will be picking you up 3 hours prior to your departing flight from Orlando. Magical Express has a luggage service system that goes until 10 p.m. and the Magical Express will literally go to baggage claim and get your bags, and they will transport your luggage to your Walt Disney World Resort hotel. So you don't have to worry about it. You can go to the pool, Disney Springs, you can go to a theme park, and you don't have to worry about your luggage. Disney will take care of it for you. Now, one of the reasons that they do this is because most of the time, I want to say about 90 to 95% of the time, your rooms are not going to be ready when you arrive. So Disney takes care of your luggage for you, and you can be relaxed and have a leisurely day at Walt Disney World the first day you arrive. Now, this wonderful luggage service does not run from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. So if you have a flight that is any later than 10 p.m. all the way until 5 a.m., you will not be able to use the Magical Express luggage service. You'll have to go to baggage claim yourself and collect your bags yourself. So that's really all I have to say about Magical Express. You will need a reservation for Magical Express. You will need to give your flight information for Magical Express. If you are using the Magical Express to leave Walt Disney property and basically head to your departing flight, you will have to be picked up 3 hours prior to your departing flight. And from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m., the Magical Express luggage service does not run. But next up, I want to talk about the rest of the Disney transportation because there is a lot. So besides the Magical Express, there is a lot of other Disney transportation that you can take to and from places on the Walt Disney World property. Just so you guys understand, the Magical Express only goes to and from the airport and to your Walt Disney World hotels. And you can only take the Magical Express if you are staying on Walt Disney World property. So I just wanted to make that clear. You can't take the Magical Express to the Magic Kingdom. It only goes to and from the airport, and it'll pick you up and drop you off at the Walt Disney World hotel that you are staying at. But although the Magical Express only goes to and from the airport, there are many other forms of Disney transportation that you could take all over Disney World property. So the first transportation I want to mention are the water taxis. So the water taxis are basically boats or little ferries that take you to and from locations on the Walt Disney World property. So the first location that you're going to find a water taxi is the Magic Kingdom. Now the Magic Kingdom water taxi is going to be able to take you to and from the Magic Kingdom from the Grand Floridian and the Grand Floridian Villas and Polynesian and the Polynesian Bungalows and Fort Wilderness. So Grand Floridian, Polynesian, and Fort Wilderness will all have water taxi stations from the Magic Kingdom. So if you guys are at Epcot or Hollywood Studios, you could take a water taxi to the Boardwalk. You could take it to Beach Club, the Yacht Club, and the Swan and Dolphin. So all of these resorts you can go to and from Epcot and Hollywood Studios and vice versa. Now, if you guys are spending some time in Disney Springs, the water taxi in Disney Springs will be able to bring you to Port Orleans, Old Key West, and Saratoga Springs. So that was just the water taxis or Disney's boating system. There are a lot of other modes of transportation that you could take in Walt Disney World. The next mode of transportation is going to be the buses. So the busing system has some pros and it certainly has its cons. The pros is the busing system can take you just about anywhere on Walt Disney World property. It is air conditioned. Most of them now have outlets to plug your phone in, and it's pretty easy to figure out the busing system. The cons though, however, is they run about every 20 minutes or so. So sometimes when you have a fast pass to get to or a dining reservation to get to, sometimes the busing system isn't the best because there is a very good chance that you could be late for whatever you're trying to get to. So the next mode of transportation is my absolute favorite mode of transportation, and that is Disney's monorail. Now, Disney's monorail, for some people it has pros and some people it has some cons. I personally just love the monorail because it is just such a nostalgic mode of transportation for me. I have so many great memories on the Disney monorail, and it's my favorite. I love it. But although I do love it for the nostalgic purposes, sometimes it is not the best mode of transportation to get from place to place. A few years ago, just for security reasons, you actually have to wait in a security line to get onto the monorail, and sometimes that line can get pretty long. And the monorail does not go everywhere. It makes a big circle. So the monorail goes to the Contemporary and technically the Bay Lake Towers, because Bay Lake Towers is right next to the Contemporary, the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa, and the Polynesian. Those are the only 3 hotels it goes to, and obviously it goes to the Magic Kingdom, and it also goes to Epcot and Ticket and Transportation. So it only makes one big circle. The security lines can sometimes be quite long depending on the time of day, and quite honestly just the time of the year that you are going to Walt Disney World. But I don't know. I don't care about all of those cons. I love my monorail. I love guessing the color when it gets into the station. I love hearing "please stand clear of the doors" in Spanish. It is one of my favorite modes of transportation. But for some, those lines and not being able to get to certain places can be some big cons. But monorail to me is really the way to go. If you don't want to take the monorail, you can also take the new Skyliner. The Skyliner, though, however, is very similar to the monorail in a way that it doesn't go to many places. So the Skyliner is the newest mode of transportation, but it only goes to a certain amount of hotels, and as far as theme parks, it only goes to Hollywood Studios and to Epcot. So the hotels that you're going to be able to get the Skyliner from are going to be Art of Animation, Pop Century, Caribbean Beach, and the new Disney Riviera Resort. So as far as hotels, those are the only hotels, and as I mentioned, Epcot and Hollywood Studios are the only theme parks. But the Skyliner cars are really, really cool. They have a lot of fun Disney animated characters on them, and it is obviously a new mode of transportation. It's a new and different way to get around Walt Disney World. The last mode of transportation that I want to discuss is actually a very popular mode of transportation anywhere, and that is going to be Ubers and Lyfts. So Ubers and Lyfts are a really great mode of transportation when you are staying on Walt Disney World property because they are quick, they're fast. I have taken an Uber and a Lyft multiple times, especially on my last Disney World vacation, and the Uber and Lyft drivers are super accommodating, they are super nice, and they know Walt Disney World property. There was a time where me and my boyfriend were rushing to get to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge to make our boarding group for Rise of the Resistance, and we got there instantly. We explained to our Uber driver just how much of a hurry we were in, and it was like pure Disney magic. We got there on time, just before Rise of the Resistance was about to close. There is another mode of transportation that is connected with Ubers and Lyfts, and they are called minivans. So minivans are very popular with families who have toddlers. And the reason I say that is because these minivans have car seats already provided for you within their vehicle. Now, a minivan can also take you to and from the airports. It's going to cost $155, and that does not include gratuity. So that's going to do it for transportation to and from different places on Walt Disney World property. As I said, you have the Magical Express that's going to take you to and from the airport. Remember, make your reservations. You have the normal Disney buses that are going to take you just about anywhere you want to go, but keep in mind they run every 20 minutes or so, and sometimes they can cause you to be late to your Fast Pass and dinner reservations. You have the monorail, which is my favorite, but it does not go everywhere that you need to go, and sometimes the security lines can be quite long. You also have the Disney Skyliner, which is the newest mode of transportation, but just like with anything new, it still has some glitches. You have the boating systems that can take you to certain hotels and certain parks, and you have the Ubers and Lyfts, but they do cost money, as well as the minivans. So a lot of different ways you can get around Disney World and everything that it has to offer. Now that you guys know just how to get around, I want to discuss where you might be staying on Walt Disney World property, or maybe not. So now that you guys have an idea of how to get around Walt Disney World property, I want to discuss with you guys where you would be staying. There are so many options. You can stay on Disney World property and have a plethora of options, or you can also stay off Disney World property. But I want to start on Disney World property. The hotel resort system kind of goes into a tier, or a pyramid system basically. So the most expensive is going to be deluxe villas. Now deluxe villas are really meant for DVC members. One of my favorite deluxe villas I've stayed in is the Grand Floridian. It is a gorgeous, gorgeous villa. I mean, the resort alone is beautiful, so definitely check out Grand Floridian villas if you are a DVC member. Now the next tier is going to be a deluxe resort. Now a deluxe resort is very similar to a deluxe villa, except everyone can stay in a deluxe resort. One of my favorite deluxe resorts is the Grand Floridian. It has always been one of my favorites. It is a monorail resort, and I love it. I love the smell and the theming, just everything about Grand Floridian I am obsessed with. So that is going to be one of the deluxe resorts. So the next level obviously is going to be less expensive, and that is called a moderate resort. Now a moderate resort, one of the examples is Caribbean Beach. Now Caribbean Beach is obviously going to offer less amenities as a deluxe, but obviously you're not going to be paying as much money. Now the last tier on the Walt Disney World Resort pyramid is a value resort. Now a value resort obviously is the least expensive. It's going to give you the least amount of amenities, but you are paying, obviously, it's the cheapest that you're going to be paying for. So an example of a value resort is going to be Pop Century and Art of Animation. So that's going to do it for the hotels. So the hotels and the resorts. So you have deluxe villas, deluxe hotels, moderate hotels, and value hotels. The other option that you could do is, if you don't want to stay in a hotel, is you could go to the Walt Disney World campground. Now the campground also has different levels. Basically it's the size of the campground. The most expensive campground is where you are able to bring your RV if you have one. There are also campgrounds that you could just set up tents. Like I said, there are different levels of amenities and the size of the campground that you're going to be paying for. So that's going to be it for places to stay on Walt Disney World property. So you have the resorts and the hotels, the villas, and you also have the campground. Now, another option that you can certainly do is you can stay off Walt Disney World property. Now, just keep in mind, you're not going to be able to take Walt Disney World transportation. You are going to have to either Uber or Lyft or have your own transportation if you decide to stay off Walt Disney World property. But it is certainly a very inexpensive way to go. And some people, they just don't want to stay on Walt Disney World property, and that is totally fine. So it's all up to you, and it really depends on your budget and what you are comfortable spending, because a Walt Disney World vacation certainly is a very expensive vacation. Although it is packed with many memories and good times, it is expensive. So if there are ways that you want to save some money and you don't have to stay on Walt Disney World property, by all means get a hotel that's close to the parks and that is not going to make your wallet cry. The last option that I would suggest if you do not want to stay on Walt Disney World property, but you are traveling with a big group that really can't fit into one hotel room. I mean, personally, I know when I travel with my family, I travel with at least 12 people. That is a lot of people to travel with. So if you are just like my family and you're traveling with a lot of people and you don't necessarily want to stay on Walt Disney World property and you can't fit everyone into one or even two hotel rooms off property, I would suggest you get an Airbnb or a rental house off Disney World property. There are so many gorgeous houses on Airbnb and rental house websites that you could get for such a good price, and they are huge houses. I mean, these houses are fitting 16 people in them, and they are less than $200 a night. A night, that's insane. And they are, like I said, 10 miles away from the park. Now, with a rental house or with an Airbnb, there are going to be certainly some pros, but there are going to be some cons depending on what type of family you are. So definitely money and definitely space are probably two big pros. Now, some cons. One con, again, it really depends on the type of family you are. Some people may not see this as a con at all. But one con is you're going to have to provide your own transportation. So if you did not drive to Florida, you're going to have to pay for a rental car or figure out how you're getting to the parks. Maybe you have family members that live in Florida. Whatever the situation is, you cannot take Walt Disney World transportation if you don't stay on Walt Disney World property. So for me, that's kind of a big con, but again, for other people, they might be totally fine with that. They might have all this transportation stuff figured out. Another con, again, depending on the type of family you are, is you are going to have to be able to provide for yourself, meaning most Airbnbs provide the linens, they provide towels, but you're going to have to be able to cook your meals every night. You're going to have to be able to keep the house clean and bring your own shower products, or basically you are going to have to be able to provide everyday necessities that you may not necessarily have to provide for yourself if you are staying in a hotel. Now, again, if this is something that you don't care about and you want to cook all of your meals and you want to, keep a house clean and bring your own shower products and, towels and all that, then fine. Totally cool. Stay in a gorgeous Airbnb, save a ton of money if that works for you. Those are really the options that I can think of as far as places to stay while you're on your Walt Disney World trip. The last topic we're going to talk about is probably the most important topic. So if you have not been listening to me at all and could not care less, please listen up to this last topic. I'm going to give you some of my tips and tricks of how to save money on probably one of the most expensive trips that you will take. So maybe Walt Disney World isn't the most expensive vacation that you have been on, but regardless, it still costs a lot of money to make this many memories. So I have some tips and tricks that help me and my family save a buck while we're on a Disney vacation. So the first tip I have in order to save some money is have your breakfast in the room. Now, if you are on the Disney meal plan, you can still certainly do this. Every time I go on a Disney vacation, I'm on the meal plan and I have my breakfast in the room every single time. A lot of the Disney World resorts, they have little almost mini markets in their lobby where you can get bagels, you can get yogurt, oatmeal, a really quick grab and go breakfast that make it really easy to save some money and just get out and get to the park or whatever you have planned for that day. So certainly I would suggest breakfast in the room, bagels, cereal, you know, whatever is quick and easy for you and your family. Definitely suggest saving some money and not having breakfast in the parks or wherever you plan to have breakfast all the time. Keep it in the room, keep it quick, keep it cheap, keep it fast. The next tip is about shopping. Now, personally with me, I love to shop, especially when I'm in Walt Disney World, but I have learned a good trick to save some money. When I go on my Disney vacations, I now load up a Disney gift card. And this Disney gift card for me is only for merchandise. I put a certain amount of money on this gift card and I know that's what I have in order to spend on Disney merchandise. Next tip for saving a few bucks is to bring your own poncho. Bring your own poncho or bring your own raincoat or something to keep you dry. Disney has ponchos. Disney does sell ponchos, but they are $40 ponchos. And I guarantee you, you don't want to pay $40 for a piece of plastic, okay? So, go on Amazon, get a pack of ponchos. Please get your ponchos anywhere else but Walt Disney World. I hope that you are listening to my advice and you pre-pack a poncho so you can save $40. The next tip that is probably just as important as not getting a $40 poncho, or maybe even more important than not getting a $40 poncho, is paying for water. You are in Florida. No matter the time of year, you are going to be thirsty. You're walking around the park all day. You probably have walked at least 5 miles a day and you get thirsty. And water at Walt Disney World for a Dasani water bottle, a regular Dasani water bottle, is $5. $5 for water. That is insane. And again, as much as I love Walt Disney World, $5 for water is way too much money. So I will tell you what you're going to do. Bring a refillable water bottle, okay? Refillable water bottle you can get on Amazon, you can get in Walmart, you can get in the grocery store. Wherever you want to get one of these, you can get a refillable water bottle. There are water stations all around the parks because Disney knows it's hot. Disney knows that you're thirsty. So they're gonna give you free water. Please don't be a fool and spend $5 on water, okay? If you're on the meal plan or not, you can use this free water. More importantly, if you're on the meal plan, a water counts as a snack. So depending on what plan you have, you get a certain amount of snacks a day. Please don't be a fool and spend your snack credits on water. Get a refillable mug, refill that throughout the day with the water stations that Walt Disney World provides around the parks. Last quick money saving tip is when you are planning your Disney vacation, head over to the Disney World website. If you type in the search bar special offers, there are always discounts, whether it's different room rates or park tickets. There are always special offers that you can use towards your Walt Disney World trip. So don't think that you have to pay full price for a Walt Disney World trip. It's expensive, absolutely, but you really never have to pay full price if you are looking for the right deals and following the right tips and tricks in order to save some money. Well guys, we have made it. We have finished part 3 and Disney breakdown overall. Super exciting. I hope this information in all of these videos was helpful for you guys. I hope you use it on your next trip. As always, if you have any questions, please put it in the comments and I will do my best to make a video and answer all of your questions. Until next time guys, I am yours truly, the Disney Diva, and I will see you guys next time in our next video. Bye!